right, we're going to call this meeting to order. The regularly scheduled planning meeting for the Show Low Planning and Zoning Commission. Roll call shows that all commissioners are present except for Vice Chairman Bishop and Commissioner Robertson. They are excused. They have previous family commitments. We're going to go ahead and have a prayer from Commissioner Josh Adams, and then we're going to have a Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Hepner. Y'all please stand.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for the opportunity we have to gather here this day to discuss the matters of the community and the city that we live and serve in. We're thankful for all the many blessings that we have. We're thankful for our first responders and our law enforcement officers. Thankful for our military personnel, and we ask that would keep them safe. We are so very grateful for the many blessings that we have. We're thankful for this time we have to meet, and we ask that would guide us and help us to do the things that be pleasing to thee, that we might be beneficial to the community and do the things that will help us move forward. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. This time we don't have any old business, so we'll move to item 6A, extension of a conditional use permit 60204-216 submitted by First Cup LLC to allow a drive-through coffee shop at 451 South White Mountain Road, that being APN 212-03149. Ms. Feckler-Cotter.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. At its regular meeting of November 13th, 2018, the Planning and Zoning Commission approved conditional use permit 60204-216 submitted by First Cup LLC, DBA Dunkin' Donuts to allow a drive-through restaurant located at 4551 South White Mountain Road, more particularly described as APN 212-03149. According to City Code Section 15132I2, all CUPs are valid if the project is started within 12 months of CUP approval and completed within 18 months of CUP approval, unless these time limits are extended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. A letter from the applicant's representative is attached, in which a one-year extension has been requested. The representative indicated that they are negotiating with Ross Stores to gain a waiver for the store. In addition, the Dunkin' Donuts franchise was sold to another franchisee with many more stores. Staff recommends granting the extension as requested with all previous conditions of approval, copy attached, to remain in effect. Staff, as well as applicant's representative, is available for questions.
All right, Commission members, do you have any questions for staff at this time?
Yeah, just
Commissioner John Adams.
just for staff, I had just one question. So when they say Ross Department Store, so they get our approval, then they have to go to Ross and get another approval from them to build that there, even though there's a building there?
Right, there's a clause in the lease that Ross has with the shopping center that Ross effectively has to approve any development of out parcels there at the shopping center. Because this is in the shopping center and is an out parcel there, they are working with the Ross stores to get that approval as outlined in the lease.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff at this time? Is the applicant available?
We've got representative is here.
At this point, does the commission have any questions from the representative for the applicant?
He wore a jacket and a tie.
Right.
Come up and get on TV, right?
If there's no questions for the applicant's representative at this time, then we'll bring it back to the commission for discussion and possible action. I guess I could make a motion.
Yeah. So I move to approve the extension of the current CUP 60204-216 submitted by First Cup LLC, DBA Dunkin' Donuts to allow drive-through restaurant located at 4551 South White Mountain Road, that being APN 212-03149, for a time period of 1 year, subject to all other previous conditions of approval.
I have a motion and I have a second. Did you get that, Linda? All right, all those in favor, please signify. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming up. We appreciate it. All right, we will move over to item number 6B, construction of approval of a preliminary development plan for the Hollows, a 3-lot subdivision located in Bison Crossing, more particularly described as APN 309-55009J. Mrs. Feckelcutter.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners again. Scott and Heather Martinson have submitted a preliminary development plan for a 3-lot subdivision called The Hollows. The applicants have indicated that this subdivision will be for single-family homes with manufactured homes prohibited. Lot 3 will be a private showroom and sales office, which will be converted to a single-family home in the future. The gross area of the proposed subdivision is approximately 10.6 acres, with a minimum lot size of 1.3 acres, average lot size of 3.9 acres, and maximum lot size of 8.01 acres. This development is zoned PUD, which is planned unit development, and is a part of the Bison Crossing development. A previously submitted final development plan called Bison Hollow Preserve Villas, the village at Bison Crossing, was approved by the City Council on November 6, 2007. The final development plan was never recorded with the county. Final development plans expire if they are not recorded with the county within 1 year of council approval. The Hollows is a portion of the previously approved preliminary development plan for the Hollow at Bison Crossing, which called for a 13-lot subdivision with a commercial component. The new preliminary development plan for the Hollows will replace that with 3 lots and no commercial component. Staff has reviewed the submitted preliminary development plan and has found that it meets all requirements of city code. The subject property meets all underlying zoning requirements of the PUD zoning. The current zoning of the surrounding properties includes to the north PUD, which is planned unit development, to the south C1, which is neighborhood commercial, to the east R115, which is single family residential, manufactured homes excluded, 15,000 square feet, and C1 neighborhood commercial, and to the west PUD. The current land uses of the surrounding properties includes to the north, the preserve at Bison Crossing, to the south, neighborhood commercial, to the east, residential, and to the west, undeveloped Bison Crossing. Transmittal memos were sent to all affected agencies and no applicable comments were received, and no public comment has been received regarding the proposed development. After reviewing the findings of fact, discussions with the applicant, the City of Show Low Land and Zoning Ordinances, and the City of Show Low General Plan, staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve the submitted preliminary plat subject to the following conditions. All development shall comply with all federal, state, and local requirements. 2, public sewer and water lines within the development shall have dedicated public easements. 3, drainage ways including basins and culverts shall be designated as private drainage easements. 4, all development of the Hollow shall be in substantial conformance to the submitted preliminary development plan, deed restrictions, and Bison Crossing master plan. Staff, as well as our applicant representative, is available for questions.
All right, thank you, Ms. Feckelcutter. Does anybody on the commission have questions for staff at this time?
I had one question, whether if they divide that into 3 lots, will the 3 lots be later available to split?
The
They
three,
split those?
no, the 3 lots that they are proposing are deed restricted. They would not allow for any future splits.
Any other questions? Commissioner John Adams?
And I just was making sure I understood this. This is the wash, right? This is part of that is the wash.
Right, so the area that is proposed to be the Hollow is outlined in red. You can actually see there's a large portion of the property on the west side that would be that wash that Commissioner Adams is referring to. That actually, if we go here, you can see it kind of outlined on the plat. There's a little bit of a darker area indicating that wash area. So it does encompass a portion of that wash as part of this development.
Any other questions for staff at this time? All right. Do we have questions for the applicant as representative? I believe Mr. Gary Martinson is in the audience. He's here to answer questions on that. I actually have one question for you, Mr. Martinson. If you'd like to come up and state your full name for the record and also your address.
This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Good evening, commissioners, staff, especially Katie and Linda, the general public.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sellout crowd tonight, right?
Gary Martinson, 720 North Retreat Way.
Right. Mr. Martinson, can you see that computer screen right there in front of you? We have I'm going to kind of highlight this portion here. I got to turn my mouse on. I have a question. So is it the intent of you as well as the applicant to leave this as just open space for, at no point you're going to plan on doing any kind of development in this big parcel here that's kind of, it doesn't look like it's part of those 3 lots. It just looks like it's open space. So is that your intent?
Yeah, the intent is that, probably the front 1/3 of the property will be developed as the 3 homes. This is a parcel that we intended to develop, 10, 12 years ago, but because of the world falling apart, it didn't happen. But and it's also a parcel that is, if we were going to develop the whole parcel, it's an expensive parcel to put all the utilities in and try to enhance or maximize the amount of lot coverage. No, it's our intent to keep that back half portion as just open space, walking trails for the family and so forth.
Great. Thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions for Mr. Martinson?
Mr. Chair, if I could
Thank you.
clarify a little bit on that. So we've got the actual plat here that's kind of on the left-hand side with all the contour lines and things like that.
Yeah.
Then we've got an inset that shows a little bit more detail.
Mm-hmm.
The area that was referred to in the previous question to Mr. Martinson, kind of that tail that comes off there at the bottom.
Yeah.
That actually is part of Lot 2.
Oh, that is.
So we've got what's outlined as the building area, which is kind of what you see in the stippled that's running around the boundary.
Yeah.
But the remainder of that tail is actually part of Lot 2.
Okay.
So it would be privately held.
So it would be, so that's the 8 acre and some change.
That's
part.
the big one, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. That makes
Yeah,
sense. All
good.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Terrasquez.
All right. If there's no more questions for the applicant, I'll bring it back to the commission for discussion and possible entertaining a motion.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, yeah, sure. Commissioner Adams.
If there is a trail system or a trail there on that part, who maintains that? Is that part, would they have to come back to us for that, or would
Right.
that?
So there's no public trail that's proposed for this property. Any trails that are there would be utilized by the property owner and their guests. The trail system that is proposed for Bison Preserve or Bison Crossing actually would come up the highway through the main entrance there. Let me back up a little bit so we can look at the aerial. There's a public trail that is in place already along Clark Road. That trail system then comes up through means of a sidewalk to, actually it runs all the way down to where Bison Crossing or the hollow is. And then that trail, that sidewalk eventually will run up to the north and tie into Old Linden Road.
Okay.
So part of the master plan for the entire subdivision is that these trails are required. In this case, the required sidewalks or trails have already been put in place at this location.
And this trail that he's talking about will have nothing to do with, this will be a private property one, he won't.
Exactly, yeah. It's, the largest lot's approximately 8 acres. So there's room there for them to, make some walking paths or, what have you there on that property.
Thank you.
Commissioner Adams. I will go ahead and then I will, if none of the commissioners will make a motion, I'm going to go ahead and I'll move to approve the preliminary development plan for the Hollows a 3-lot subdivision located in Bison Crossing, more particularly described as APN 309-55009J, subject to the conditions of approval specified by staff, and forward that recommendation to City Council.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Mr. Tregaskis.
This has been scheduled for consideration by the city council at their next regular meeting, which happens to be a week from tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martinson. We appreciate your dedication to our community. Item 6C has been pulled by the applicant, so we'll move on to item 7, which is call to the public. If anybody would like to come speak to the commission, I'll go ahead and read the boilerplate language. If not, I will forego with that. We will move from call to the public to item 8A, approval of minutes. In the commission's packet, we've been given the planning and zoning regular meeting minutes from September 24th, 2019. I'll entertain a motion for those.
I so move.
All right, I have a motion and do I have a second? Multiple seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. 9A, summary of current events from our commission. Start down at the
Well, I
end.
think the decorating that the city has done is absolutely phenomenal. I think we should be very proud of all the effort that's been put in.
I'd like to second that. The lights particularly look extremely well, and I feel like the city's done a very good job representing us, and I'm pretty happy with what they've done.
And I'll echo that as well and look forward to the Sholo Shines December 7th parade, which is chilly, but a lot of fun.
I would agree 100%. I heard a lot of positive comments about the lights. I think it's great, and hope everyone stays safe this week and in their travels and has a good weekend.
I would just, for those of you who haven't heard, our mayor was appointed to fill the seat for Steve Williams for the as the District 4 Board of Supervisors for the county. So he's going to begin that, I believe, December 16th. So we look forward to having Mayor Seymour come over onto the county. He's also going to finish out, I believe the city issued a press release, he's going to finish out his term as mayor through the end of the year. So he's going to be pulling double duty on that. So we are excited to have him over at the county and know he's going to do a great. With that, I'll turn it over to the Planning and Zoning Director, Mr. Tregaskis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few announcements that we'd like to make. As already been mentioned, next Saturday, December 7th, we will be holding the annual Sholo Shines Christmas Light Parade. That starts at 6 p.m. Along the Deuce of Clubs, starting there at Central and progressing to the downtown. I would like to invite all of our citizens, visitors, guests to attend that. Bring a jacket, maybe some hot cocoa. It will be a little chilly. Directly after the parade, we will have our annual Christmas tree lighting. That will take place here downtown, right out in front of the library building, the council chambers. And there will be some other festivities that go along with that. So we'd like to invite you to attend not just the parade, but also the Christmas tree lighting. Also, the weekend of the 7th, actually December 5th, 6th, and 7th, the Sholo School District is hosting their 35th annual Feast of Carols. This is a holiday-themed event that is put on, for the past 34, and this will be the 35th year, by the Sholo School District. The students there, not the drama, but the choir students and other students. There are still tickets available. If you are interested in that, contact Loft Green Photography. Would like to wish the commission a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for being here on a cold Thanksgiving weeknight. I would also like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as we will not be meeting in December. We do not have any agenda items for our only meeting that we would have in December. I would like to thank, as also has been mentioned, our Public Works Department for the Christmas decorations that have been put up. I understand we hit a little bit of an obstacle with the wind and our bucket truck. And so you may see some additional decorations coming up here in the future, but it's pretty close to the way it's going to be. So drive downtown. Quite a lot of time and energy has been spent putting those lights up. And then finally, as my in-laws would say, we're expecting weather this weekend, this holiday weekend. So please be careful on the roads. Take a little more time getting to where you need to go. We'd like to remember this holiday weekend for positive things and not because of accidents or something else that may take place. So, with that, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jurgaskis. With that, I will call this meeting adjourned.